Hey, this is Chris and Lamb of God. You're watching Rock and Metal News.
Hey guys, this is Ron from YouTube's Rock and Metal News with a Rock and Metal News CD review of the new Black Sabbath. The album is 13. It's out now. It features the original members of Black Sabbath of Ozzy Osbourne, Geezer Butler, and Tony Iommi. Due to contract disputes, Bill Ward was not able to drum on the album or go on tour with them. So they had Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine fill in for drumming, and it was produced by Rick Rubin. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Rick Rubin and Ozzy, Geezer, and Tony. Unbelievable job of capturing and recreating the Sabbath sound, basically through the whole spectrum of Black Sabbath, from the first album all the way up to Never Say Die, and even just, you know, a bit of sort of modern new type Sabbath that you could see was something that they just, you know, created, you know, sort of the spur of the moment of a new Sabbath sound. And they did it. They really did. This album had such high, you know, anticipation to it around the globe for every metalhead. And I just wanted to first off say that they did it. I was really impressed and happy to hear the outcome of this album. The first song is End of the Beginning. It's, to me, it has a feel of the Black Sabbath album, and you know, the song Black Sabbath itself, you know, very heavy and slow plodding at the beginning, with some sparse tom work, and you know, going through the song, it speeds up. Ozzy's voice, they really captured his voice again. They captured the old Sabbath sound, and it sounds great. That song is, you know, really good kickoff to the album. The second song, God is Dead, that's the first single. I'm sure everyone's heard that one by now. The video got released as well. You know, it's a similar type song to End of the Beginning. You know, slow start, a cool riff kicks in near the end. You know, really cool heavy toms, and that song as well kind of reminded me of some old type Sabbath from maybe, you know, the first album, or possibly something like Paranoid. Then it really kicked in for me when the song Loner kicked in. That's when I really got the sense of that old Sabbath feel. You know, I think they really wanted to, with the first couple songs, maybe make some, you know, longer, moodier songs that brought you back all the way to the beginning of Sabbath. When Loner kicked in, I just felt that, you know, it was almost off of something, say, a mix almost between Never Say Die and Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. I just love the phrasing, just had a really good solos. They really captured the true essence of Sabbath in that song. I just loved it. Then it goes into Zeitgeist, and that one there, it reminded me of a bit of Planet Caravan. They had the effect on Ozzy's voice, you know, from Paranoid album. They had acoustic guitar and some of that kind of those drums in the background, you know, kind of almost like a flange effect on Ozzy's voice. Nice acoustic guitars and excellent Sabbath type lyrics, and some of it almost reminded me of Floyd when Iommi was putting in those really cool, you know, licks in there. I just loved it. It's just been so long since, you know, you've heard Tony Iommi and that putting those kind of riffs together, and it was just amazing. And Geezer Butler's bass, they captured that old heavy sound of the bass. It was just amazing. And then the next song was Age of Reason. That one there reminded me of something maybe off Master of Reality, like a Sweet Leaf type sound, or Into the Void kind of mix. There was a couple parts in there, a couple runs that kind of reminded me of Into the Void. And that solo in that album, in that song, it was just, it totally brought me back to Sabbath. I mean, lights out, just totally really just taken this whole album in, and that there's parts in that song I thought, man, I am back into that Sabbath era. The next song was a Live Forever. That one there, again, it reminded me almost of something off Never Say Die, kind of like maybe Johnny Blade type feel. It had a really nice groove in it, and just another great sound. And then it hit to, then they moved on to the song Damaged Soul. That one there reminded me of definitely something off of Black Sabbath. It had such a bluesy feel, heavy guitar. You know how on the first album where Tony Iommi just kind of solos, almost like they're jamming out. It had that type of a feel to it, just amazing. I really liked the songs from Loner all the way to Damaged Soul. Loner, Zeek Geist, Age of Reason, Live Forever, and Damaged Soul. Those just threw me back right into the Sabbath era. Just amazing. If the whole album was just contained in those songs, they would have done it. Then Dear Father, that was neat because it basically kind of, to me, it almost sounded like a sort of like a modern Sabbath. They didn't really try to, maybe bring anything from another album into it. It was just, let's create something new, and it kind of reminded me of just something, very unique for a modern type Sabbath sound. And same with Methademic. That one there, Tony Iommi just lets loose on it, and it starts with some acoustics in it, and then it goes really fast. I think Tony Iommi just really lets loose in that one, and that one there as well. It just reminded me of some sort of modern Sabbath. Like they just, they didn't really necessarily try to capture anything from the past, but they just got something new, and it just was great feel to it. And then Peace of Mind. That one there, it kind of, went back into the old Sabbath type sound, maybe something from Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, or Volume 4. It had a real nice older feel. And then at the beginning of the song, and then the end of the song, again, it sort of picked up, and it was kind of very unique sounding, kind of more modern. And the last song off the deluxe edition was Pariah. It had a real cool, slow feel to it. Really neat riff in this one. Almost reminded me of a Ritchie Blackmore kind of run in it for the riff. And it, again, reminded me of something like from Never Say Die. Just a really nice break in it. Overall, they just did it. They captured the sound. It didn't seem contrived. I know they wanted to, hit kind of like what they were and what the band's about, and they could have been forced to play stuff that they didn't want to, that kind of sounded old. But I really think the majority of this album was just really the old Sabbath feel, that the sound that they recorded with just brought back that old guitar sound. Again, it was just so great to hear Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler playing together again. And of course, Brad Wilk, the drumming was very Sabbath. He didn't modernize the drumming too much, or add in sort of more modern beats or sort of double kick beats. He really kept the drumming as an old Black Sabbath sort of Bill Ward type drumming, and it just worked out. I'm really happy with the sound of this album. I think they just did a great job, and I think they basically accomplished everything that they wanted to do on this, and I can't wait to listen to it more and more. Just a great album. So this is Ron from YouTube's Rock and Metal News. Pick up the new Black Sabbath 13. You will not be disappointed. Thanks for tuning in.